This is crazy, man. It's Christmas weekend, and if you celebrate, Merry Christmas to you. If you don't, Happy Holidays, or if you're part of a cult like the J-Dubs or something, like, enjoy your weekend. Nonetheless, we got 3 weeks left of this NFL regular season. This season has flown by, although if you're a fan of a team like I am with the Bears, it didn't go by nearly quickly enough, and you got to slog through the last few meaningless games for your team's season. For others, though, there's playoff spots on the line. There's divisional titles on the line, playoff seeding, first round bye. So plenty of important games still to come here in week number 16 and over the next couple of weeks. Looking back at week 15, it was a decent performance for me in terms of my picks. I was 13-3 picking the winners straight up. Wasn't exactly the hardest week to do that, I will say. And 10-6 picking against the spread. So, I'll take that. Better than having a 500 or below record for that. In terms of season to date, I'm 144-80 picking the winners straight up, 123-101 against the spread. So, like I said, you might have been able to make some money with all of my picks this year if you took the money in Vegas or your sports book or whatever. But how much? I guess it depends on how much you would have bet and when. But anyways, let's take a look at my picks for Week 16 of the 2021 NFL season. As always, those picks will be in the description box down below. Make sure you follow me on Twitter so you can join me when talking about this weekend's slate of games. Yeah, let's do this. So the Thursday night matchup I had put on Twitter that I actually like the Titans to win plus the 3 over the 49ers. I know the 49ers were coming in and people are looking at them as a hot team. But they have Jimmy Garbage Pail as their quarterback. And at some point in time, that's always going to crumble around them. And, if you're a 49ers fan, this is the worst possible spot to be in. Maybe you're getting yourself psyched about a playoff appearance for a mediocre-ass team, but why would you? All you did was to delay the development of Trey Lance, and why would you want to do that? I guess it's the ultimate loser season if it's talking about somebody like the San Francisco 49ers. Meanwhile, for the Tennessee Titans, big win for them, and, certainly saying to the rest of the AFC that they're here and they're contenders, and if Derrick Henry comes back in time for the playoffs, they could be a scary team. They could be. We've got a couple of games on Christmas Day. You've got the Browns traveling to Green Bay to take on the Packers. I'll take the Packers minus the 7.5 here. Sure, what the hell, why not? And then you've got the Colts traveling to Arizona to take on the Cardinals. You would look at this matchup and you would say, man, the Cardinals, weren't they just the number one seed in the NFC, and now they're only 1-point favorites against the Colts? But I get it. Right? The Cardinals are crashing back down to earth just a little bit, where meanwhile the Colts are playing some really good football behind their MVP candidate running back Jonathan Taylor. I'll take Arizona in this game, although it totally would not surprise me to see the Colts go on the road and beat Arizona. Switching over to the early Sunday games, you got Detroit traveling to Atlanta to take on the Falcons. You got the Falcons as 5.5-point favorites. Looking at this matchup, maybe Atlanta still has some slight delusions about being a playoff team, and if they do, of any kind, they must win this game, so there will be a sense of urgency for them there. Meanwhile, for Detroit, just recently got their first win of the season. Then you sit there and, you get steamrolled by the Broncos with all the emotions they had with the Demaryius Thomas situation and his tragic passing. So now you want to come in here against Atlanta, make a good showing. I like Atlanta to win, but I do like Detroit to cover the 5.5-point spread. You've got Baltimore traveling to Cincinnati to take on the Bengals. Ravens with Huntley starting, with Lamar Jackson starting. It didn't matter the first go-round because the Bengals beat the brakes off these jokers. There's a big spot for Cincinnati. You win this game and you effectively win that division. That's huge. Get you a home playoff game and all of that. You don't, and you're keeping the Ravens alive there. You got to find a way to win this game. I'll show some faith in Burrow and the Bengals and take Cincinnati minus the 3. You got the Rams traveling to Minnesota to take on the Vikings. The Rams are 3.5-point favorites. I like the Rams in this spot. The only thing I'm really debating is this is also the type of matchup that the Vikings would come out and play well and then find a way to lose, but find some way to fucking cover too. So even though the spread is not that huge and not as large as you would probably think, I think the Rams are starting to really position themselves for, hey, we can make a run of this. I'd like the Rams to win, but I do like the Vikings to cover the 3.5-point spread. Big matchup in the AFC East with significant importance and implications. You got the Bills traveling to New England to take on the Patriots. The Patriots are 2-point favorites here. Buffalo certainly needs this matchup, even more so than New England, but Buffalo has to have this one. If New England has this one, they're basically winning that division and getting a home playoff game, and what phenomenal work that would be for that team with a rookie quarterback this year. But the Bills, you would assume, have to be motivated for this one after New England went in there a few weeks ago on Monday night and beat them in that horrendous weather game where the wind was blowing like 40, 50 miles an hour and everybody was just running all the time. I like the Bills in this matchup. Give me Buffalo plus the 2. And this is another game that nobody's going to want to watch. Jacksonville traveling to New York to take on the Jets. I like the Jets minus the 1 here. Let the Jacksonville Jaguars dumpster fire continue. The Giants traveling to Philadelphia to take on the Eagles. I like the Eagles minus the 10. Like, how bad it is for the Giants. Danny Dimes is out for the year, and you should know by now that he sucks. He's not the dude. You got to get ready to move on from him. You know you're going to fire your general manager. It probably means you're firing your head coach. And this Giants organization has become a clusterfuck, damn near the NFC's version of the Jacksonville Jaguars in recent years. They're that bad. Just really bad. And apparently next year right up against the salary cap. Like, how the fuck are you this bad and you have no cap space? That's just horrible. Yeah, give me the Eagles minus the 10. Because they still got something to play for. They're trying to make the playoffs. They have a shot at the playoffs. And they've done some good work there this year. I give Sirianni and his staff, Steichen, I give them credit. Hurts has shown some development. Like, you know, not all bad there in Philadelphia, especially when you look at that 2022 draft capital that they're going to have. You've got Tampa Bay traveling to Carolina to take on the Panthers. The Panthers, speaking of coaches that should be fired regardless of contracts or situations, let that fucking clown Matt Rule come in and, I'm going to build up the defense. You dumb dick. This isn't college, and even in college, that's a dumb philosophy. It's even worse in the NFL. We're going to stake the future on Sam Darnold. And once you did that and it blew up so spectacularly in your face, you should be fired. He probably won't be, but he absolutely should be. And I'm not sure that Panthers fans would be all that much in disagreement with me. Meanwhile, for the Buccaneers, you know, what are they going to look like here? Their last outing against the Saints, they looked horrendous, especially with missing all those weapons, but the Panthers stink. I do like the Bucs to bounce back and win this one, but I do like the Panthers to cover the 10-point spread. And then you've got the Chargers traveling to Houston to take on the Texans. I like the Chargers minus the 10 in this one. In terms of the late Sunday games, you've got Chicago traveling to Seattle to take on the Seahawks. Speaking of games you really don't want to watch, especially if Andy Dalton's a fucking starter for Chicago. I like Seattle to win, but I do like Chicago to cover the 6.5-point spread. I'm not that convinced that Seattle's offense is any better than the Chicago Bears. That's an awfully big spread, and both of those teams suck. Got Pittsburgh traveling to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs. Huge spot for the Steelers. If they want to get into the playoffs, they really need to win this one. It would go a long ways to help them. Meanwhile, for the Chiefs, like, if you want to get that top seed and have the road to the Super Bowl go for Arrowhead, you absolutely have to handle your business here. We'll see what they do without potentially Hill and Kelsey. You know, we'll see. That's a lot to lose, but I like them in this matchup to win, but I do like Pittsburgh to cover the 8.5-point spread. Then you've got Denver traveling to Vegas to take on the Raiders. I like the Raiders in this one. Give me Las Vegas minus a 0.5 point, but that might be a sneaky good matchup on Sunday afternoon. The Sunday night game, of course, it's going to be some NFC least action. NFL just can't help themselves. You got the Washington football team traveling to Dallas to take on the Cowboys. A couple weeks ago when these teams met in Washington, Cowboys jumped out to a huge first half lead and then started to piss that game away a little bit. They held on to win, but Washington made it close and interesting at the end. We could see a similar type of thing here, but I like Dallas to win this one. I do like Washington to cover the 10-point spread, though. And then Monday night, you've got Miami traveling to New Orleans to take on the Saints. Ian Book getting his first career start for the Saints. That should be something. And yes, you know, Miami comes into this winners of, what is it, like 5 or 6 in a row, whatever the hell it is. They're sitting, I think, at 7-7. Like, crazier stuff has happened. But the reality is they feasted on a pretty soft schedule, too. Now, you could also say that they're lucking out here. This isn't a great Saints team as it is, and they're going to be facing a rookie quarterback in their first start. I get you, and I can get why Miami is a slight favorite here. But I'll take the Saints in this one because nothing about this NFL season has made sense. So, of course, a guy like Ian Book would potentially come in with limited talent, limited skills, and in his first start play well enough for this Saints team to find a way to win on Monday night. So I like the Saints plus the 1.5 to win on Monday night. So those are my picks for week number 16. Let's hope we get some good games this week. Ugh. Probably going to be some crazy shit, that's for sure.